So why in the world shouldn't you hold a gold buy trade over the weekend? Well, as a matter of fact, you shouldn't even hold a gold short trade in these days and times that we're living in. And everybody has different reasons for holding trades. I'll share with you my reasons for why I don't like to hold gold over the weekend. That's what we'll look at in this video. But first, let's move over to my office. This is where I do all of my analysis using the day chart and the 4-hour chart to get a big picture view of what's going on with currencies and commodities. And here we are with this weekly analysis starting on the 7th of October 2024. And as usual, we will look at the high impact news coming out. We'll go to our go-to website, forexfactory.com. And then I will share my profit and loss that we had from last week's trade setups. Only one trade hit the stop loss, and I'll share that with you. And then, of course, I will share my pending orders with you. Those are the trade setups that I have in place for this upcoming week. And I do all of this to help you make profit with your Forex trading. So let's jump over to forexfactory.com. I have a screenshot for you of the high impact news that's coming out this week. And it's a little bit light, although there are some very, very important items that we need to be aware of. If you trade the Asian Pacific market, of course, you need to be aware of the New Zealand official cash rate will be released, and they expect to lower the interest rate 50 basis points. Quite a big change in the interest rate for the New Zealand economy. Let's see how that affects the New Zealand as well as the Australian dollar. And then on Thursday is the big day. I've highlighted the entire day of Thursday. It starts just after midnight on Wednesday in Southeast Asia. That's 1 a.m. Thursday, and that's with the FOMC. And that's always a big mover and shaker. And then, of course, during the day, we have the CPI data coming out and then the regular weekly unemployment claims. So just check forexfactory.com for your local times to be aware of these high impact news items. And now let's have a look at the profit and loss from last week's trade setups that I shared with you. And looking at gold to start off with, we had a buy limit at 26.20, between 26.20 and 26.40. It did not get down to 26.20, but it did on Monday hit 26.40. So the pending order opened, the buy trade opened, and went a little bit the wrong direction, was heading for the second pending order, 26.20, but didn't get down that far. And then started to come up on Tuesday, all right, for a grand total of 330 pips. Now, you would have had to have been really nimble this week. A lot of trades moved in the right direction on Monday and then started going the opposite direction on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as you will see as we look at the currencies. But a nice good trade on gold for Tuesday of last week with a grand total of 330 pips. On the US 30, we had a buy limit at 42,257, and that one did open on Monday, but on Tuesday went the wrong direction. It hit my stop loss. But remember, once you hit your stop loss, you can keep monitoring the trade and always get back in. When the non-farm payrolls came out on Friday, that US 30 did very, very well and went into a little bit of profit if you had taken that order during the non-farm payrolls release. Then on the Euro US, this was a buy. Okay, no pending order, just buy on market open, and that one was perfect opening, but only good for Monday. Grand total of 48 pips profit on that one before it just lost all of its steam and went absolutely the wrong direction. The odd US, the same thing with all of these major pairs, started well on Monday. On Tuesday finished up with 33 pips, and then that was all she wrote for that one before the same decline on all the major pairs. The New Zealand US was a buy limit. That one did execute on Monday, but then just never got going at all. And so we hit the stop loss on the New Zealand US. On the pound US, that one was a buy, market execution order, no pending order. And that one was perfectly executed on Monday, all right, and gave us a grand total of 50 pips on Monday, but then that was it. All right, I hope you were able to get out of that one because it had a continuing decline throughout the week, a massive drop on Thursday, and then continuing drop with the non-farm payrolls on Friday. The USD CAD was a sell or a sell limit. I gave you two options on this one last week. This one did open on Monday. Okay, went a little bit in the wrong direction, and then on Tuesday turned good, and then finally on Wednesday ending up with 48 pips before turning around and going the other direction on Thursday and Friday. The UJ, the USD JPY, you would have really had to be nimble to get anything out of this one. But if you were watching the charts on Monday, the order did open on this sell trade. It was actually a sell market execution, no sell limit. So this one opened on Monday and then gave us 80 pips during the day. Okay, but when the U.S. market opened, it turned around, went the wrong direction, and had a huge, massive move on Wednesday, went sideways on Thursday, and then a complete ballistic move on Friday with the non-farm payrolls. So a little bit out of this one, 80 pips on the UJ last week. So now let us have a look at the pending orders, the trade setups that I have in place for this upcoming week. And I do this to help you make profit with your Forex trading. But remember, this is not financial advice. Okay, I'm not suggesting or recommending that you take the same trades. You can if you want to, but it's up to you to manage your own trades, to use good risk management to protect your capital, and to trade responsibly. And before we look at those pending orders that I have in place, I always like to share with you the DXY. Okay, the indexes, the DXY and the JPY basket, and we can see the US dollar making an incredible move last week. Just unbelievable, amazing. It looks like some SpaceX rocket that took off. But we're seeing now a strengthening of the US dollar after a continuing decline, long-term decline. All right, but now it's doing a correction, okay, going back up. And yes, you can see it can go a lot higher. Okay, there's no question it can continue up. But what we historically see is before an election, there will be a weakening in the stock market and a weakening of the U.S. dollar. Whether that's going to play out this time with this election year in the U.S., only time will tell. But what we're seeing, and this is all that we can do, is analyze what we see, is that we're seeing a strengthening of the U.S. dollar. So that's why in my pending orders, I will be bearish on the major pairs. And the JPY basket, of course, continuing its decline, and nothing unusual about that. It declined, went up, declined, went up, declined, went up, higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows. The same old story. It's what everything does, goes from one level to the next level to the next level. But we're seeing a decline with the JPY, and now likely to see a little bit of a retracement before that one starts to continue down. And so that's why I am now bullish, of course, on the USD JPY, as you will see in just a few minutes. But let's start at the top of the chart with the pending orders and start with gold XAU USD and see the pending order that I have on that one, which is a buy limit. Of course, gold has been bullish since last year. So of course we're going to be looking for an opportunity to buy. And I have a buy limit on the XAU USD with the entry price at 26.40. Then the US 30, I have an entry price on that one. Okay, I'm showing my 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. If you don't know how to set your risk to reward ratio, there is a video that I made, and the link is in the description below. You can check that out and see how to work this great little tool provided on TradingView. No calculation necessary, just click one time and place it on your chart. So I have a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio with a buy limit on the US 30 at 42,240. Then the Euro US, I have a sell limit, of course, being bearish on all the major pairs, a sell limit with the entry price at 1.1015. So you see what we're looking for is for it to come back to our previous support, which has now turned resistance. So a sell limit on the Euro US. On the odd US, also, of course, a sell limit with the entry price at 0.6837. The New Zealand US, a sell limit with the entry price at 0.6220, looking for that to come back to our previous resistance, turn support here, but it's now turned resistance. Entry price on the New Zealand US, 0.6220. And then the pound US, also a sell limit, with looking for the pound to come back to our previous resistance zone here at 1.3217. The USD CAD, of course, is a buy limit, all right, with the strengthening of the US dollar that we're seeing with that great non-farm payrolls news that came out last week. The US added 254,000 jobs in September alone. just unbelievable good news for the U.S. economy. So we're likely to see a at least continuing short-term strengthening of the U.S. dollar. So a buy limit on the USD CAD with the entry price at 1.3545, and that is our previous support here. It was resistance momentarily, but it has become support again. It was support way back here. So let this retrace back to our support level at 1.3545. Then the UJ, yes, of course, as you can see easily on the chart, it has turned bullish since a couple of weeks ago. We obviously reached a low here, so now it's almost a no-brainer. Buy the UJ. You could just buy on market execution, but I'm going to play this one a little bit cautious and see if we can get a retracement back to our previous resistance zone here, now become support at 147.30. Okay, that's a wrap for the weekly analysis, but back to the question I asked you in the beginning. Why shouldn't you hold a gold buy trade over the weekend? Well, here's a screenshot of the swap charges that you pay to the broker for holding a long trade overnight. As you can see, it's $30 if you trade one standard lot, and that is moderate. I have seen swap charges of $45 on some brokers, which is crazy. And that's just for one day. And notice here, you don't pay on Saturday and Sunday because the market's closed, all right? So on Wednesday, they charge you 3 times. So you would pay $90 for one standard lot for holding a trade over the weekend. Now, even holding a gold short trade is not recommended because of the geopolitical situation that we have. If things escalate in the Middle East, or anything can happen, an earthquake, another hurricane, anything can happen, and gold can make drastic moves, huge moves. So even holding a gold short trade over the weekend is not recommended. For me, and it's a personal decision, I don't like to hold gold trades long or short over the weekend, but it's up to you. But you definitely shouldn't be holding gold trades for very long because of the incredibly high swap charges that most brokers charge. Now, if you have a swap-free account and you're not paying anything on gold, let me know. Okay, there's not very many brokers. There are a few that have swap-free on gold, but they're hard to find. They're few and far between. And the last thing before I go, some people have asked me, what do I use for my analysis? Well, mostly support and resistance. Okay, I use the day chart and the 4-hour chart. And if you don't know what support and resistance is, I made a video on that, and it's right here. You can check it out. The link is in the description below. And let me know what you think about that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I will get back to you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you'll be notified every time I make one of these weekly analysis videos. That's it for me. Wherever you are in the world, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'll see you in the next video.